could have been a year ago, maybe a little bit less, but I asked you something like the most unstoppable scorer, the best one-on-one player, something like that about how high James Harden would rank. And you didn't give the win to James Harden. I remember, I'm not going to remember specifically, but you were like, no, it's not going to be Harden. Best scorer of all time. And I got that banging around in my head. And I got one other thing. I asked you if Luka Doncic was James Harden, and you said, no, I hope he's more than that. And I think what you meant was more than just the score that James Harden is. The Luka has the ability to be a more well-rounded player. And here we are today, 57 points, 17 straight 30-point games. And I got to ask you, Tim, if not James Harden, whose hands do you want the ball in with one possession left in a basketball game?
Well, look, based on what's happening now with Harden, this is one of the greatest individual offensive runs we've ever seen. So you'd be foolish not to say the way that he's playing. I will say everything has sort of fallen into place on that roster, the way that they're constructed now. There's not another team in the league that could get away with trying to play this way. Like, I try to envision other great players in the league, with the ball that much, dribbling that much, shooting whenever they wanted to shoot, and everything being predicated around them. I'm not sure. Certainly in the situations that those guys are in currently, it would work because they have other guys on the floor that would take exception to that. James Harden really doesn't have to deal with that right now. He's completely free of mind that no one on his team that he's on the floor with is going to take any offense with anything that he does offensively. It's an incredible place to operate when you can be in that space and have that kind of freedom. And that's where he's at right now. And it's really remarkable to watch. I think, Will, the thing that's standing out to me a lot about James Harden in this stretch is I don't think I've ever seen a guy less affected by pressure on his shooting hand. Like, he just doesn't feel the defender that is on his shooting side as he releases three-point shots. I don't think I know any other player that's not at least a little bit affected by that. I'm not saying guys won't make shots, but you definitely feel that a guy is that close to your shooting hand. And when he does those step backs to his right, when he's shooting the ball on the left side of his body, and that's where the defender is, and they're right there, and he shoots it as if no one is there, I don't think I've ever seen a guy that unaffected by pressure.
Tim Legler here on the Will Cain Show. So is it Harden then? If you have one possession, you need one bucket, 2 or 3, is it Harden?
Yeah, I think it's probably Harden.
Who's in the debate, Tim? Curry, Kevin Durant?
Yeah, probably those two would be the next two guys that I would say. And I was trying to actually make the argument earlier today on a show that I don't think that even Durant and Curry, in the way that this system is set up, playing exactly the way that Harden does, could do what he's doing. Because there's a combination of things that he has, like that a guy like Curry, for instance, as great as he is, and the shot making that he would be able to perform on a given night, to do it this long, this consistently, requires an incredible amount of physical strength to be able to beat guys, get to the rim, get into your body, get to the line, finish with contact. Like, all of that stuff sets up what he's able to do at the three-point line and why he's taking 12 to 15 threes a night and making enough. It's because of the threat to go by you physically, put his shoulder into your chest, ride you all the way to the basket, and then finish over somebody, or at worst, get to the foul line. If Steph Curry, because of the way he's built and his weight and his frame, if he tried to play the same exact way, that would wear him down over the course of a game, and certainly over the course of a month, which is what James Harden's been doing this now for. So I think the physical attributes that he has allow him also to be able to carry this on as long as he does. He's an incredibly strong guy with great balance, and it's exhausting to watch him some nights play this way, and I think it would wear down even the great scorers in this league.
ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler here on the Will Cain Show talking about James Harden. Let's move forward and talk about the Lakers for a minute. Tim, who's the second best player on the Los Angeles Lakers?
Wow, probably Kyle Kuzma. Truthfully, I mean, Brandon Ingram has the potential to be that, and I love the growth that he showed from year 1 to year 2. And some people, it's amazing to me. Some people are questioning whether he's hit a wall, and I'm going, wait a second. You add LeBron James to the mix, his numbers are identical to last year. I think that's an incredible accomplishment on the part of Brandon Ingram. So I don't think he's regressed at all. It's hard to play with LeBron and make that adjustment when you're a guy that needs the ball off the bounce to get into your rhythm, which is what Ingram is. I think Kuzma's probably been the second, if not best every night, most consistent start to finish, I think it's probably Kyle Kuzma.
Who's the best in a trade package? If a theoretical trade package came together for Anthony Davis, and they probably would require all three of those guys, but who is the most indispensable? Who's the first name that somebody's going to say, I got to have this one? Is it Kuzma?
Yeah, Kuzma.
Is it Brandon? It's Kuzma.
I think
not
Kuzma
Ball,
because of Kuzma's shot-making ability in modern basketball. I mean, Brandon Ingram, as good as he can be offensively off the dribble, he is still a guy that's going to operate primarily inside the three-point arc and do a whole lot of stuff off the dribble, which means it's more difficult, I think, when you look at adjusted field goal percentages, effective field goal percentages, efficiency, it's more difficult for a guy that plays that way than it is for a guy like Kuzma who can struggle some nights maybe from the field, but if he bangs out 3 threes in a quarter, he makes up for it pretty quickly. It's a lot harder for Ingram to do that. So I think you could put Kuzma alongside more people, and his game will translate and blend seamlessly without, wondering, more so than a guy like Brandon Ingram, who I think is basically a wing ISO type of player.